Today is American Independence Day, first proclaimed in 1776, so the US is nearly 250 years old. Here in Britain, with July the 4th being announced as the date for shops and pubs to open again, some people have described today as Britain's Independence Day, when at last we are free from the shackles of the lockdown. But what does that mean, to be free? As we know, far too many people have taken it to mean free from all restraints, free to do what I like, free to turn a beautiful beach into a rubbish dump, free to barbecue and set fire to an ancient forest, free to barge through other people in the supermarket, free to turn up the car radio and wind down the window, free to get on a bus without a mask and to abuse the driver about it. Does it really mean that as from today we can forget everything we've learned during the pandemic about dependence, about how utterly we do depend on one another, how we need to care for one another? Thankfully, the forest fire raisers and the beach louts are really only a small minority of the population, though their activities make good headlines and sensational pictures in the papers and on the television. My sense is that the great majority of people are quite cautious about this new stage in our so-called exit from lockdown. The bulk of the population surely won't forget the sacrifices made by so many over the past 4 months, the devotion of doctors and nurses, care home staff, social workers, key workers in retail and in education, and in so many other aspects of our daily life. Nor surely will we forget the spontaneous acts of kindness by neighbours, friends, food bank volunteers, and thousands of other people who've made us proud to be British. Perhaps rather than flying a banner of independence today, it's a time to take stock of what we've learned from what has happened. It has been a difficult time, but surely we noticed, for instance, how blissfully quiet it was when there were so few cars about in April and May, and how pollution levels went down during that time. It felt almost like living back in the 1950s. Have we become more aware of the natural world, too, around us, with the help of beautiful programs like Country File and Springwatch? And have we found that we had more time to give to reading and to conversation, more time even for exercise? And still more important, have we come to realize more vividly how we are all part of the same human family and all need to support and care for one another? And for those of us with a religious faith, have we grown in our own awareness of the presence of God? God above us, God around us, God in us? Have we learned afresh that to be a Christian isn't just about turning up to church on Sundays, but a day-by-day sense of being called together by God, belonging to one another, praying for and supporting one another? And have our priorities in life changed? Are we living life more deeply and more generously than we were 4 months ago? There are so many things we haven't done over the past 100 days. There's been no shopping therapy, no bus trips, no parties, no holidays, no cinema, no football, cricket or tennis. And for some people, not even daily work to go to. None of the things that normally fill our days. Life became simpler, more basic, and with a much slower pace. Has that experience taught us anything? Anything about ourselves, about our relationships, and about God? If it has, and we can take those things forward into what is obviously an uncertain future, then we can still give thanks that we've been kept safe and can take heart knowing that we're loved and cherished by our families, our friends, our church community, and above all by God himself, who created each one of us out of his amazing love.